Many men don't realize they're being manipulated until it's already too late. They believe they're simply being kind, considerate, or respectful, but in truth, they're walking right into a trap, one that women set with ease. When a man doesn't set clear boundaries, a woman doesn't need to directly tell him what to do. All she has to do is influence his emotions, press the right buttons, and make him believe he's making his own choices. That's the skill of manipulation. And the men who suffer the most are those who never set limits, the ones too afraid to say no. Modern dating isn't about instant love or deep connections. It's about power, control, and leverage. Women instinctively test men to figure out where they stand. If you allow her to overstep once, she'll keep doing it, gradually pushing the boundaries further until one day you realize you're no longer in control. You've become reactive, responding to whatever she does. This isn't a criticism of women. It's a wake-up call for men. Women value boundaries. They value strength. But if you're the type of guy who constantly gives in, who always compromises, and who never stands firm, she will take advantage of you, even if she doesn't intend to. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 7 ways women manipulate men who don't set boundaries. Some of these you'll recognize immediately, while others might surprise you. But one thing's for sure, once you understand these techniques, you'll never fall for them again. Let's dive in. Sign number 1, guilt tripping. A woman knows that a man who never sets boundaries is easy to control with guilt. She doesn't need to argue. She doesn't need to be aggressive. She just needs to make you feel like a bad person for standing your ground. She will use emotional weight against you, making you feel like you're selfish, unkind, or unloving just for doing what's best for you. The moment you accept guilt for something you didn't do wrong, you give her the power to dictate your decisions. This is how it happens. You finally decide to say no to something you don't want to do. Maybe she asks for money. Maybe she wants you to drop everything for her. Or maybe she just wants to get her way in an argument. Instead of accepting your stance, she flips it on you. She sighs, withdraws, gets distant, and suddenly you feel like you hurt her. She might even throw in a line like, "Wow, I didn't know you could be this cold." That's the moment a weak man cracks. He rushes to prove he's not cold, he's not mean, he's not unloving. And in doing so, he hands over his authority. The stronger the guilt trip, the weaker she sees you. The more you try to prove that you're a good guy, the less she respects you. A man with no boundaries will keep falling into this trap because he wants peace. He doesn't realize that in trying to keep her happy, he is training her to manipulate him further. The right response to guilt tripping isn't an apology, it's holding your ground. If you know you're not wrong, do not explain yourself. Do not argue. Do not chase her approval. A woman will only use guilt against a man who fears losing her more than he values himself. Sign number 2, playing the victim. A woman knows that a man without boundaries is easy to manipulate if she can make herself look like the victim. She doesn't need to prove she's right. She just needs to make you feel like she's hurt, misunderstood, or unfairly treated. This tactic works because most men are fixers. The moment a woman looks helpless or in pain, a man who lacks boundaries will rush to make things right, even when he did nothing wrong. This manipulation starts small. She brings up past hurts, bad relationships, or unfair treatment from others, subtly making it seem like you are now doing the same thing to her. If you don't text back fast enough, she's suddenly reminded of how her ex used to ignore her. If you tell her something she doesn't want to hear, she acts like you don't care about her feelings. And if she does something wrong, instead of apologizing, she turns it around and makes you feel like the bad guy for calling her out. Here's how weak men react. They back down. They feel bad for hurting her and start overcompensating. They apologize when they shouldn't. They try to prove they're different. They give more, sacrifice more, and slowly lose themselves. And the more they do this, the more she sees that she can avoid accountability just by acting wounded. A woman will test you with this tactic early in the relationship. If you fall for it once, she knows you will fall for it again. She learns that she doesn't need to take responsibility. She just needs to make you feel like you're the problem. Over time, she trains you to walk on eggshells, constantly checking yourself to avoid upsetting her. And once you reach that point, she has complete control over you. A strong man never allows this. He recognizes the game and refuses to play it. He doesn't get defensive. He doesn't explain himself. And he doesn't reward manipulation with sympathy. Instead, he watches. If a woman consistently avoids accountability by playing the victim, he understands that she is not a mature partner. She is a manipulator. And instead of trying to fix her feelings, he sets a standard. Either she takes responsibility for her actions, or he walks away. No negotiation. Sign number 3. Using intimacy as a weapon. A woman knows that a man with no boundaries will do anything for intimacy. If she realizes that you crave her physical affection more than she values it herself, she has leverage. She won't even need to argue with you. All she has to do is control access to her body, and suddenly she has full control over your mind. This is how it starts. Everything is passionate in the beginning. She makes you feel like the most desired man in the world. But then, over time, she starts pulling back. She becomes less affectionate, less responsive, and less intimate. And when you notice the change, she doesn't explain it. She just makes you feel like it's your fault. Maybe she says she's just not in the mood. Maybe she starts talking about how things feel different. Or worse, she hints that you have changed, and that's why she doesn't feel as connected anymore. A man with no boundaries panics when this happens. He starts working overtime to win her back. He becomes extra nice, extra patient, extra understanding, all because he thinks if he does everything right, she will start being intimate with him again. But that's the trap. She has made intimacy a reward system. If you do what she wants, she gives you affection. If you don't, she withholds it. And now? She doesn't even need to demand anything from you directly. You're already chasing her approval without even realizing it. This is how some men end up completely controlled in relationships. They're constantly on edge, trying to be the perfect boyfriend or husband just to get a little of the affection they used to have freely. A man with self-respect doesn't play this game. He understands that intimacy should never be a tool for control. If a woman starts weaponizing affection, he doesn't beg, he doesn't negotiate, and he doesn't turn into an obedient little puppy just to get her approval. He pulls back completely. He shows her that he is not dependent on her validation and that he refuses to be controlled. Here's the truth. When a woman realizes a man can walk away, she stops playing games. She sees that he is different from all the weak men who beg and chase. And instead of testing him with manipulation, she starts respecting him. Sign number 4. Creating jealousy to control you. A woman knows that a man with no boundaries will react emotionally when he feels like he's about to lose her. If she senses that you're afraid of competition, she will create situations that trigger your jealousy, not because she wants another man, but because she wants to control your behavior. Here's how it works. She starts mentioning other men in casual conversation. Maybe she brings up an ex who still reaches out. Maybe she talks about a coworker who flirts with her. Maybe she posts pictures with male friends and waits to see how you react. She's testing you. She wants to see if you'll get insecure, get emotional, or start competing for her attention, and if you fail this test, she wins. A weak man takes the bait. He starts questioning her, chasing her, and trying to prove he's better than the other guys. He texts more, checks in more, and suddenly, he's no longer the calm, confident man she was originally attracted to. Now he's a desperate, insecure guy who is fighting for her validation, and the more desperate he becomes, the more power she gains. Some women take it further. If they feel like you're pulling away or standing your ground, they might fake interest in another guy just to shake you up. They might suddenly get busy or unavailable, forcing you to wonder where they are and who they're with. They might even pretend to be losing interest in you just to see if you'll start begging for her attention. And the moment you lose control of your emotions, she knows she owns you. A man with strong boundaries never allows this. He understands that a woman who respects him will never play childish jealousy games. If a woman starts trying to make him jealous, he doesn't argue. He doesn't beg for reassurance. And he doesn't start chasing her. He does the exact opposite. He distances himself. He lets her know, without words, that he is not the kind of man who competes for attention. And if she keeps playing games, he is prepared to walk away completely. And here's what always happens. The moment a woman realizes she can't shake your confidence, she stops the games. She sees that you're different from weak men who crumble under pressure. And instead of trying to manipulate you, she starts chasing you. Sign number 5. Testing how much you will tolerate. A woman knows that a man with no boundaries will let things slide just to keep her happy. She understands that if she slowly pushes the limits, she can train him to accept more and more disrespect without ever realizing it. And once she figures out just how much he will tolerate, she has full control over him. This is how it starts. In the beginning, she's sweet. She acts like the perfect woman, giving you everything you want. But as time goes on, she starts testing you. Maybe she disrespects you in a small way. A rude comment, a dismissive attitude, or a joke at your expense. She watches how you react. If you call her out immediately, she knows you're a man with standards. But if you laugh it off or stay silent, she knows she can push further. Then the tests increase. She might raise her voice during an argument, start ignoring your calls, or disrespect you in front of others. If you react by trying to calm her down, pleasing her, or proving you're still a good guy, you fail the test. She sees that no matter what she does, you will always be there. And when a woman knows a man has no limits, she loses all respect for him. This is how men end up in relationships where they feel like they're constantly walking on eggshells. They think, she wasn't like this in the beginning. What happened? The answer is simple. She trained you to accept bad behavior by slowly increasing it over time, and because you never stopped her, she saw you as weak. A strong man does not allow this. He sets the tone from day one. If a woman disrespects him, he corrects it immediately, not by arguing, not by begging, but by making it clear that he will not stay in a situation where he is treated poorly. If she repeats the behavior, he does not make threats, he walks away. And here's the truth. A woman will only respect the boundaries you enforce. If she sees that you will tolerate disrespect, she will lose respect for you. But if she sees that you value yourself more than you fear losing her, she will either step up and respect you, or she will leave. Either way, you win. Sign number 6. Playing the victim to avoid accountability. A woman knows that a man with no boundaries will feel guilty if she makes herself look like the victim. She understands that if she can turn the situation around and make you feel bad, she can escape responsibility for anything she does wrong. And the moment she sees that you are emotionally weak enough to fall for it, she owns you. Here's how it works. Let's say she does something disrespectful. Maybe she lies, breaks a promise, or treats you poorly. A normal man would call it out and expect an apology. But instead of taking responsibility, she flips the script. She gets emotional. She starts crying, raising her voice, or bringing up old situations to make you feel like you're the bad guy. Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about what she did wrong, it's about how you made her feel. She might say things like, "You never understand me," or "I feel like you don't love me anymore." Now, instead of being upset at her bad behavior, you're comforting her. Instead of holding her accountable, you're trying to make things right. And without even realizing it, you've let her escape responsibility. Some women use this tactic when they feel like you're pulling away. If she senses that you're no longer chasing her or that you're getting tired of her behavior, she suddenly becomes the most emotional woman in the world. She might start talking about her mental health, her childhood trauma, or how difficult her life is. She makes you feel like you're abandoning her when she needs you the most. And if you're a man with no boundaries, you fall right into the trap. You tell yourself, "I can't leave her like this. She needs me." And just like that, you're back under her control. She doesn't need to change. She doesn't need to apologize. And she doesn't need to treat you better. She just needs to keep playing the victim, and you'll keep running back. A man with strong boundaries sees through this game. He understands that a woman's emotions do not erase her responsibility for her actions. He does not let guilt, sympathy, or manipulation keep him in a toxic situation. If a woman refuses to take accountability, he does not argue, explain, or comfort her. He lets her deal with her own emotions while he continues to stand firm. And here's what happens. When a woman sees that her emotional tactics don't work on you, she stops using them. She realizes that you are not like other men who can be guilt-tripped into submission, and once she knows that the only way to keep you is to respect you, she either steps up or she walks away. Either way, you win. Sign number 7. Using intimacy as a reward and a weapon. A woman knows that a man with no boundaries craves intimacy and will do almost anything to keep it. She understands that if she can control when, how, and if he gets it, she can manipulate his behavior however she wants. She turns what should be a natural part of a healthy relationship into a bargaining tool, something he has to earn, beg for, or suffer without. And the moment he plays into this game, he loses all power. Here's how it works. In the beginning, she gives freely. She's affectionate, passionate, and makes you feel like the only man in the world. You think you found the perfect woman, someone who truly desires you. But as time goes on, things start to change. She begins to pull back. Suddenly, she's too tired, too stressed, or not in the mood. She makes you feel like her affection is something you have to work for, and then it becomes conditional. If you do something she likes, maybe you take her on a trip, buy her gifts, or agree with her on something important, she becomes affectionate again. But if you disagree or stand up for yourself or fail to meet her expectations, she withdraws. She makes you feel like you did something wrong, and because you crave that connection, you start compromising your values just to get it back. A weak man doesn't realize what's happening. He starts bending over backward to please her, hoping she will be the way she was in the beginning. He apologizes for things he shouldn't, avoids confrontation, and puts her needs above his own, and she sees it. She sees that she can control his emotions by controlling his access to intimacy. She turns what should be an expression of love into a tool of power. Some women take this even further. They create competition by making you feel like other men would gladly replace you. Maybe she makes comments about other guys finding her attractive. Maybe she posts revealing pictures online to get attention. Maybe she keeps male friends around who give her constant validation. She wants you to feel like you're lucky to have her and that at any moment she could pull away completely. And if you're a man with no boundaries, you fall into the trap. But here's the truth. No woman who genuinely respects and loves a man will ever weaponize intimacy. A woman who values you will never make you feel like you have to earn her affection by sacrificing your self-respect. If a woman starts playing this game with you, you don't beg, negotiate, or try to fix it. You recognize what's happening, you pull back your attention, and you make it clear that you will not be controlled. A real man does not chase intimacy like a starving beggar. He does not allow a woman to use his desires against him. He stands firm, knowing that if a woman truly cares about him, she will never use affection as a weapon. And when she realizes that you will never be manipulated by it, she either steps up or she loses you for good. A woman can only manipulate a man who refuses to set boundaries and stand his ground. If you allow her to test you, guilt-trip you, control your emotions, and make you chase her approval, you hand over all your power, and once she sees that you'll accept anything just to keep her, she will never respect you. The solution is simple. Become the kind of man who values himself more than he fears losing a woman. A man who is not afraid to walk away is a man who will never be manipulated. Either she respects you or she loses you. Period. If you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't forget to subscribe on the channel. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today.